The project's destroying Sierra Madre. Sierra Madre is the longest mountain range in the Philippines and the country's last great natural shield. It protects millions of Filipinos from typhoons, floods, and landslides. It is home to forests that are thousands of years old and to wildlife found nowhere else on Earth. But today, Sierra Madre faces threats so severe that experts warn parts of it may never recover. These threats come in the form of large infrastructure projects, destructive economic activities, and long-term environmental abuse. Let's take a closer look at the most dangerous ones and why they matter to every Filipino. First on the list is the Kaliwa Dam project. This is one of the biggest and most controversial water supply projects in the country. If built, it will submerge large areas of forest and displace the Dumagat-Remontado indigenous communities. The dam would destroy habitats of critically endangered species like the Philippine eagle and various forest mammals. More importantly, it would weaken the Sierra Madre's role as a natural storm shield, putting millions of lives downstream at greater risk. As forest cover is removed and the landscape is altered, the threat of landslides, erosion, and reduced watershed capacity becomes immediate and severe. But Kaliwa is just one piece of a much bigger plan. There are additional proposed dams, Kanan, Laiban, and Agos, that together form a massive multi-dam system. If these projects are revived, they would transform vast stretches of Sierra Madre into reservoirs. Old-growth forests would be lost forever, wildlife corridors broken, and entire watersheds collapsed. It would trigger ecological damage on a scale the country has never seen. These dams pose a long-term critical threat, especially because once forests are flooded and submerged, they can never be restored. The third major threat is large-scale mining, both legal and illegal. Open-pit mining and tunnel operations carve into the mountains, strip away forest cover, and leave behind unstable soil. Toxic runoff contaminates rivers. Heavy trucks and machinery build access roads deep into the range, and these roads invite loggers and further exploitation. Mining damage is not temporary. It permanently weakens watersheds that provide water to communities, farms, and entire provinces. Once the soil is poisoned or eroded, entire ecosystems collapse. Next is illegal logging and timber poaching. Despite protected area laws, logging syndicates continue to operate inside Sierra Madre. They remove primary forest cover at alarming speed. When trees are cut, the slopes lose their natural anchors. This leads to landslides, flooding, and severe soil erosion. The loss of forest also destroys shelter and breeding areas for wildlife, pushing many species closer to extinction. Illegal logging is often linked to corruption, making it extremely difficult to stop. Fifth on the list is kaingin or slash and burn farming. Fire-based clearing creates bald patches in the forest. Once the soil is exposed, it becomes infertile, forcing farmers to burn new areas to survive. Over time, this cycle causes desertification, destroying the land's ability to recover. The smoke affects nearby communities, and the fires endanger wildlife that cannot escape fast enough. Kaingin is considered a high-impact threat because it spreads quickly and eats forest cover one piece at a time. Another growing danger is unregulated road construction, such as the Ilagan-Divilacan Road, which cuts through the heart of Sierra Madre. Roads may seem harmless, but in forests they fragment habitats, divide wildlife territories, and open remote areas to illegal activities. Loggers, land grabbers, and wildlife traders gain easy access, accelerating deforestation. Roads also increase human-wildlife conflict and cause soil erosion along mountain slopes. As more roads are built, the forest becomes more vulnerable. Finally, quarrying and gravel extraction continue to damage many parts of the Sierra Madre. The removal of soil and rocks destabilizes slopes, leading to landslides and severe flooding downstream. Rivers change their natural flow, destroying riparian habitats and affecting communities that depend on clean, stable water sources. Quarrying is considered a high-severity threat because its impact is immediate and often irreversible. These are the top threats that are slowly destroying the Sierra Madre. Each one is dangerous on its own, but combined they create a perfect storm that could permanently change the Philippines' most important mountain range. Sierra Madre is not just a mountain. It is the country's shield, its reservoir, its biodiversity powerhouse, and a sanctuary for indigenous peoples. Protecting it is not just an environmental issue, it is a national survival issue because when Sierra Madre falls, the entire nation feels the impact. If we want future generations to enjoy a safer, greener, and more resilient Philippines, the time to act is now.